Hey everybody, it's Dan from Carestream Dental. I'm a senior account executive for Carestream Dental in Minnesota, North Dakota, and Iowa. I'm going to show you guys something kind of cool. Actually, a couple of things in the CS3D imaging software. Some things that we can do that are kind of neat. This tutorial is a little bit more for kind of the more intermediate or even low-level advanced users. GPs who are kind of wanting to get a little bit more out of the CS3D imaging software, understand how to navigate around in these scans a little bit better. This really isn't for the beginner user. So I do have some beginner tutorials on my YouTube channel there, or you can go to Carestream Dental Institute, where there are a ton of videos, or carestreamdental.com/learn3D for a number of free videos on navigating the free and unlicensed CS3D imaging software. Well, I am in version 3.10.45. If you don't have version 3.10.38 and newer, first of all, you should get it because it's really good. But some of the button locations are going to be a little bit different for you. So. But again, if you don't have at least 3.10.38, it is probably the most well-optimized version of the Carestream Dental 3D imaging software that I've ever seen. It installs really, really well, even on kind of lower spec PCs. Technically, you should still follow the manufacturer's recommendations for specifications for the PC. But it runs really just so well. It opens so much faster. So you should get it. Go to carestreamdental.com /update central. It's free. We don't license it. You can get it. Anybody can get it. So go ahead and get it. All right. So anyway, so in this version, we've got this really cool case. This was a person who had pain. It was uncertain about whether the pain was originating from the lower or upper jaw. And so this person was referred out from the general dentist to an endodontist who was able to take this actual 5 centimeter by 8 centimeter field of view scan in high resolution, which is kind of one of the cool things that the CS8200 3D Neo Edition CBCT and the CS9600 CBCTs are able to do. We're not just limited now to those just focus field scans for high resolution. We can even do full jaw scans, or even do full dual jaw scans in high resolution. You want to be really discerning, and there's some reasons for that. You don't want to just do that on everybody for some really good reasons, which we're not going to talk about in this video. And this is a really good application for this. It turns out in this particular case, the pain was originating from tooth number 18. So we're going to kind of focus on that for this scan. And so starting out, what I'm going to do is in the axial view, I'm going to grab the sagittal slider and I'm going to change that angle so that we're going to be looking down the long axis of the sagittal plane. And here, right away, we can kind of see how the teeth are wrapping around that mandibular canal. Which is kind of neat. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the orientation then of the coronal view using our purple slider here so that we're looking down the long axis of that distal root. And we're going to kind of really see, just how cool that coronal view then is at this point. So this is a really, really good application for it. But there are a lot of really, really good applications for this coronal view, and you really should, if you're not already, get really good at navigating around so we can look at these teeth from the coronal views as well. You're going to thank me. Okay, go ahead and do it. So in the coronal view, we can see then how the canal is exiting here. The lesion has communicated with the mandibular canal. Now that you found this, say you want to then, document this and you want to do it in a really, really easy way. So you saw I've already maximized the coronal view by hitting this maximize button. And this maximize button is actually located in each one of these workspaces. So I've got the coronal view maximized now, and in versions 3.10.38 and later, we're going to right away see our camera icon right here. So I'm going to select that camera icon, and now I've just screenshotted this. And if you're a TDO user, then that nests that right into TDO, which is really, really cool. Or if you're a Carestream Dental CSI 8 imaging customer, then this nests right into your imaging software and becomes part of the documentation and the rest of the imaging records that you've got there. It's really cool. So keep in mind that camera button right there is there, and it's a really good tool for documenting just about everything that you see in these CBCT scans. The next thing I'm going to show you is something that's really cool. So I'm going to minimize our coronal view again. And what we're going to do is we're going to visualize now not just that lesion, but the communication of those roots with the mandibular canal in the 3D reconstruction. So here we've got a view of the buccal. There's our view of the lingual. And we can kind of see now that the communication really is on the lingual side. So we're going to focus on that. And in our MPR tab, we have our 3D adjustments buttons in the adjustments box. So the 3D adjustment correlates to the 3D reconstruction. And probably when you start out, you've got this realist option selected. And we've got different colors here, but if you click on realist right here in the CS3D imaging software, and we can go down to shiny bone, please do that. And then that changes our colors. It changes the way that this looks, and then it changes these colors here with these sliders. And each of these palettes correlates to a different type of tooth, bone, or tissue in the mouth. So we've got skin, flesh, bone, dentin, enamel, and amalgam. And as we change those sliders, we can kind of see how those densities then the colors change on the 3D reconstruction. So keep that in mind, okay? Because we're gonna focus on that. Now, let's minimize that for now, and let's go to our cropping box, okay? And on our lingual side, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab that slider now for our cropping box, and I'm just going to kind of collapse now that lingual side until we're able to see now that mandibular canal. And now I'm going to maximize that. So, we can see where that mandibular canal is. It's difficult to kind of identify what's what in there though. And that is where the power of that 3D adjustments box comes into play. And then also being able to change that then to shiny bone is really going to allow some of this stuff to really pop and stand out. So at this point now, I'm going to take our bone slider and I'm just going to kind of move that up so we can really see now the contrast there. And as I zoom in, right click and hold, and I can drag this, then we can see where these lesions are actually in the scan. And I can even, if I wanted to, further kind of make some adjustments there to kind of see a little bit further, posterior, or a little, just really kind of change the angles so we can see this in a little bit of a different way. And that does kind of change our orientation of the 3D reconstruction. We have to move that back. So, but let's drag that flesh slider up a little bit more as well. And let's play around with this just a little bit, okay? How cool is that? How cool is that? That, we can almost see where the canal exits. But you can see how that lesion then is communicating with the mandibular canal from the 3D reconstruction. Did you know that you could do this? Pretty cool, isn't it? So now at this point, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to screenshot this too. So now, again, if you're a CSI 8, Carestream Dental Imaging 8 customer, this nests that screenshot right into the imaging software, becomes part of your imaging documentation at that point, or does the same thing if you're a TDO user and you've acquired this image from TDO. So anyway, I hope this helps out. Again, a little bit more of advanced level and went fast, but you should, if you're not already comfortable with manipulating these scans and changing the angles to look down the long axis of these teeth for seeing it in the coronal view, this is something that is really, really good to get good at. And then in the 3D adjustments box, how we can change the colors of some of those palettes, and then cross-section the 3D reconstruction for different visualizations. Very cool stuff. Anyway, thanks so much for being a Carestream Dental customer, and I hope you have a great day.